History of chemistry. Comparatively a drier topic, except for those who are interested in such thing, points, historical background, etc. Anyway, so the first question is, when does chemistry begin? Long, long time ago. It's just a theory. Scientists thought that the chemistry was first began when human being came to know how to lit the fire, because they think fire is the basic need to proceed a chemical reaction, right? So this was about 750,000 years ago. Since then, chemistry was used in a number of arts and crafts, directly or indirectly, like making parts, clay parts, or making weapons, or any other thing like this. Okay? As you can see on the screen, pottery making, glass making, dyeing, all of these are the processes which were invented by human beings long, long time ago. Right? See, what is next? Metallurgy. What is metallurgy? Minerals. All of you know that what we mean by the word minerals. Minerals, something which is you can dig out from the earth, is called a mineral. Okay? So when you dig out something, if it contains a suitable quantity, a reasonable quantity of metal, and you want to extract metal from that mineral, this process is called metallurgy. So, in Balochistan, we have an area called Fendak. There you can find number of important minerals, metals, like gold, like copper, like uranium, etc., etc. So gold is extracted from minerals, copper is extracted from minerals. This is called metallurgy. So, according to our book, remember we are following strictly our syllabus. We are limited within the boundary of the syllabus. Okay? So, there are three different eras, important eras, which you can see on the screen. The Greek period, the Muslim period, and the modern period. So we will try to cover these periods, these eras, one after the other. Then the next is Plato. Who was Plato? He was the founder of a Platonist school of thought. It was the first institution of higher learning in the Western world, around 2,500 years back. Then another one is the Aristotle. Might be you have heard his name. Aristotle, again, he was a very prominent Greek philosopher. Polymath. Polymath means a very learned person who knows different skills, different areas of knowledge, etc. And he was the student of Plato. Aristotle was the student of Plato. And who will tell me, not now, afterward you can mail me, that why was Aristotle famous for? How did he sacrifice his life Okay, and he was the first one. He was the founder of Lyceum. What is Lyceum? That is a school, Cameroon school in Karachi, but that is I'm not talking about that Lyceum, but it is the first Athenian school, long time ago, around 300 and 330 35 BC. That each and everything is made up of just four elements, four important things. Either it is me, plant, you, and everything. They considered that all of the things, all the matter is just the combination of four important parts, four important elements. It's not necessary that all the four elements are present in all the compounds, but could be two or three or one of all four. For example, let's see the first. What are the four? Water, earth, air, and fire. Like plants, they say it is composed of water and fire, because when they burn it, it gives fire. Besides this, many other Greek philosophers were there, like Democritus. Democritus, he was the first one who proposed the theory for the structure of atom. According to Mr. Democritus, that matter is composed of tiny indivisible particles. He called those particles atomos, not atoms, atomos. Okay?
In Muslim period, you know that it was started from 600 to 1600 AD. It's a span of this era from 600 AD to 1600 AD. During these 1000 years, Muslims did a lot of contributions towards different areas of science, not only in chemistry, physics, astronomy, zoology, botany, or any other, but also in mathematics, etc., etc. Okay. I told you what was the reason of doing this, because in Holy Quran is written, Iqra, read. So Muslims did remarkable discoveries during this era. What else? The chemist of Muslim chemist of that era, they were busy in finding out a way to convert normal metals, to convert base metals like iron, copper into gold. That was their prime objective, to convert base metals, normal metals, into gold. And in doing so, they invented a lot of instruments, a lot of techniques, and contributed a lot. Okay? So, if it is asked, write a note on Muslim period or Greek period, they will write in points. But if it's given, show the contribution, write the contribution of a proper Muslim scientist like Jabir bin Hayyan, then you will only write about Jabir bin Hayyan. Okay? So, the first Muslim scientist, you can see on the screen, Jabir bin Hayyan or Jaber. West call him as Jaber. Then Al-Razi is there. He is called Rhazes, R-H-A-Z-E-S, Rhazes. Then Abu Ali Sina, or West call him Avicenna. So these 3 or 4 are the Muslim scientists. Al-Biruni is there. So we'll start from Jabir bin Hayyan or Jaber. So Jabir bin Hayyan, he was a very famous Muslim chemist. He was not only a chemist but also showed interest in other areas of science, like you can see on the screen: chemistry, beside chemistry, cosmology, numerology, means astrology, medical sciences, etc., etc. He also wrote number of books, right? Enormous number of a variety of works in Arabic, and that his work was translated from Arabic in different languages. He invented different experimental techniques, like I told you yesterday. Distillation. Distillation is a way to obtain rose water or to obtain extract of any other material, right? So distillation was introduced by Mr. Jabir bin Hayyan. He also prepared for the first time the two most important acids of chemistry lab, of very, very high importance. Nitric acid, this is not nitric acid, it is nitric acid. What is the formula of nitric acid? HNO3. This is nitric acid. And what another acid he has prepared for the first time? HCl, hydrochloric acid, or hydrogen chloride. So these are two most important acids that he prepared. Besides this, he worked on white lead, which is used in pens, etc. initially. Formally, he invented aqua regia. What is aqua regia? Aqua means water. Regia means royal. So it is royal water. Why it is so called? Why it is so called royal water? See, gold. What is the symbol of gold? AU. It is nearly impossible to dissolve gold in any solvent except a few. Means if you put gold in water, it will not dissolve. You put gold in nitric acid, it will not dissolve, or hydrochloric acid, or any other thing. No solvent can dissolve gold except a very, very few. So what he did, he prepared a mixture of these two acids, nitric acid and hydrochloric acid. This mixture has the ability to dissolve gold. Okay? Has the ability to dissolve gold. That is why it is called aqua regia. What is aqua regia? The mixture of two acids, nitric acid and hydrochloric acid, which can dissolve a very noble element, gold. Okay? And what else is? He was also famous for dyeing of leather or cloths. He improved the process of metallurgy. I told you what is metallurgy. It's a technique, it's a process of obtaining what? Metal from its mineral ore. Suppose you have some mineral and you know that this contains copper. You want to separate copper, you want to purify copper from that ore. So the technique that you use is called metallurgy. So metallurgy is the way of obtaining pure metal from its mineral ore. Look, okay. So what Mr. Jabir bin Hayyan did, what he is called Jabir in West. He wrote many books. He was not only the master of chemistry but also of other subjects. He prepared different chemicals, like the most important hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, white lead. He also prepared a mixture of nitric acid, hydrochloric acid. This mixture is called aqua regia. Why? Because it can dissolve gold in it. Okay. He also developed few techniques like distillation, which is used to extract rose water or any other kind of solution like this. Now the next is Al-Razi or Rhazes. Again, Al-Razi is the most prominent chemist of Muslim world. Besides chemistry, he contributed a lot in the field of medicine. He was a very well-known surgeon. And what is related with chemistry, he introduced opium as an anesthesia for the first time. What is opium? In local language, it is called afim. From opium, different drugs can be prepared, can be extracted, like heroin. Okay? So opium was first used as an anesthetic chemical compound by Mr. Al-Razi. And what else? His contribution, he was the first one to divide all the then known substances on the basis of their origin into two broad categories. Things, compounds obtained from living things, things obtained from non-living things. Later on, Berzelius, another chemist of modern age, he called compounds obtained from living things as organic in nature, and the compounds obtained from non-living things as inorganic in nature. So he was the first one to divide the substances on the basis of their source, on the basis of their origin, into two categories: living things and non-living thing compounds. Right? And most important thing, he was the first one to prepare alcohol by fermentation. What kind of alcohol? Ethyl alcohol. What is the formula of ethyl alcohol? C2H5OH. C2H5OH. This is called ethyl alcohol or ethanol. Alcohol actually is a series of different kinds of compounds like methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, butyl alcohol, pentyl alcohol, and so on. The one which is drinkable is ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. So alcohol was first prepared by the process of fermentation. What is fermentation? It's a process in which bacteria converts something into another thing. Like they extracted sugarcane juice, and after the process of fermentation and some other processes, it can be converted into alcohol. So fermentation is related with the action of bacteria. Let's summarize Al-Razi's work. Al-Razi is also called Rhazes. He was a famous chemist surgeon, numerologist, and a philosopher also. He was the first one to use opium as an anesthesia. He also divided all the then known elements on the basis of their origin into living living compounds and non-living compounds. Means compounds obtained from living things or compound obtained from non-living thing. Okay, now let's proceed further. You can see on the screen, this is opium crop, latex plant, and you can see the flower there, opium. Now the next is Ibn Sina or Avicenna. In our book, only a contribution is mentioned there. He was a very prominent writer, and he worked a lot on earth sciences and plus chemistry, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, etc. And you can say that he was the first or the father of early modern medicine. Okay, so Mr. Abu Ali Sina, he worked on different earth sciences. He also knew different subjects beside chemistry, like mathematics, like astronomy, like philosophy, etc. And he is called the father of modern medicine. So we have covered three prominent Muslim scientists: Jabir bin Hayyan, Al-Razi, Abu Ali Sina. The fourth one, only a line is written there. Go and find by yourself who is that one. I told you the name in the list. Now the next period is modern period. Modern period, it was started from 1600 AD, and since then it has produced number of new things. Number of prominent scientists are there, like Newton, like Rutherford, like Bohr, like J.J. Thomson, like Robert Boyle. Number of scientists are there. So the very first one you can see on the screen. Remember, whatever we are doing here, this is all in accordance with our syllabus. Okay. So Robert Boyle, he was the first prominent chemist of modern period. That is why he is called the father of modern chemistry. Who is the father of modern chemistry? Robert Boyle. Who is the father of alchemy? Jabir bin Hayyan. Who introduced experimental techniques for the first time? Jabir bin Hayyan or Jabir. So Robert Boyle insisted other scientists to consider chemistry as a systematic investigative study. Means chemistry should be done in a proper way. Robert Boyle, he is famous for his Boyle's law. What is Boyle's law? If we have a gas in a container like this, having this much space, if we increase the pressure, the space will decrease. I repeat, increasing the external pressure or increasing the pressure, the volume will decrease, the space will decrease. If you reduce the pressure, the volume will increase. Means volume and pressure are inversely proportional to each other. As you apply pressure, force on a gas, it will be compressed. This is called Boyle's law. So Robert Boyle is called father of modern chemistry, insisted to study chemistry in a different way, and he gave Boyle's law. Berzelius, the contribution of Berzelius. Berzelius introduced a system of symbols. Like as you can see on the screen, he used a circle for oxygen, circle with a dot for hydrogen, two semicircles for nitrogen, a circle, a black circle, carbon, and etc. Similarly, for water, he used a circle and a circle with dot. And ammonia you can see on the screen, sulfuric you can see on the screen. So this way for representing elements or compounds with the help of symbols, with the help of formulas like this, was first introduced by Berzelius. Okay. Beside Berzelius, now this topic, this part of modern period is just for blanks. Like someone asks, what did Mr. Black did? He worked on carbon dioxide. Who discovered oxygen? Presley discovered oxygen. Who discovered chlorine gas? Chlorine is a green colored gas. It's a colored gas. Who discovered chlorine gas? It's Schiller. Who gave the first theory for about the structure of atom? John Dalton. He was an English school teacher. Who introduced who introduced the symbols for elements and formulas for compound? Mr. Berzelius. Periodic table. The first proper periodic table was given by Mendeleev. And who discovered the process of radioactivity? What is radioactivity? It's a process, it's a natural process rather, in which certain elements radiate, gives off, emits what? Certain kind of radiations all the time. This process is called radioactivity. Okay, so uranium is one of the radioactive compound which was discovered by Curie. The process of radioactivity was discovered by Professor Henry Becquerel. So these are the blanks, MCQs. And who proposed modern atomic theories? Rutherford, Bohr, Sommerfeld. So this part of today's lecture is directly related with the blanks, the MCQs. Okay? Let's proceed further.